Good evening, fellow Reds. Welcome to your Monday night special. I'm your host, Charlie. I'm joined today by my illustrious guests, some returning faces and a new face for me. Ricky, how are you, Ricky?
I'm great, Charlie. Thanks for having me here.
Oh no! The pleasure's all mine. I'm happy that you're here. We can talk Liverpool, get the passion. Start talking about what happened over the weekend. But we'll come to that. Let's speak to Dean. Dean, how are you, mate? It's been a few weeks since last spoke.
It has, yes. A lot's happened in such a short time. Yeah, I'm still reeling a bit from yesterday and mixed emotions, as I said on yesterday's stream, but calming down in some ways, but happy in another. It's just mixed emotions, like I say.
Yeah. No, we'll cover that again. Hopefully, seeing that you've slept on it, we'll get some more thoughts from yourself there, Dino. And Clem, how are you, Clem?
Doing great, Charlie. Great to be with you, talking Reds and Ricky and Dean, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, I'm really liking that shirt as well, mate. I might need to get one of those.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it's a training top, but
yeah,
a lot to talk about after yesterday.
Yeah, well, let's kick off with it. Let's go into it. I'll stick with you, Clem, first. I guess kind of let's gather some thoughts. What was good, what was bad. How were you feeling before the game? We have a lot of injuries, and when we saw the lineups for both sides, were you fearful?
I wouldn't say fearful. I was really hopeful that we would be able to field the strongest lineup. And then obviously we know with Konate recently, I was surprised Salah didn't start. So I was a little bit more pessimistic before kickoff. But look, what was good, I mean, there's so much to condense. The second half, basically, we created more chances than I actually felt we would create. So we really should have won the game, but we didn't. But we're well and truly still in the race. Really looking forward to the Arsenal City game now, because I think that's our chance to just get back up above Arsenal. And a lot of performances, courageous performances from the kids. The midfield absolutely played them off the park. And then look up forward. Nunes created a chance. McAllister hit the penalty. We'll probably talk a little bit more about Diaz. But yeah, I don't know if I've left anything out.
No. There's still, as you said, there's like we're trying to condense it, but there's just so much to talk about, isn't there, Dino? What were your feelings going into the game? And that first half, the first 10, 15 minutes were pretty fearful, weren't we, with the way that they were turning up. And I think it's not for the first time that a team have tried to catch Liverpool out in the first 10, 15 minutes. And we weathered the storm, and then after that, okay, they got the goal, but really we did all right.
Yeah, of course. Going into the game, we were all a bit concerned with missing. As much as Callagher has been amazing, you're sitting there, you're going, Alisson's missing, Konate's missing, obviously Jones shot it. You're just thinking, it's just adding up. It's all against us. But for the first, like I said, the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes, once it all settled down, we just played our game. And it doesn't matter who's on that pitch. They played the same intensity, the same emotion behind the football. And everyone who's been in the squad has stepped up. That's the key thing this season for us. If everyone stepped up, doesn't matter who's dropped out.
Yeah.
Every man to a team worked its absolute arse off yesterday, and we can't really ask it for any more. It's only been marred by one decision. In theory, well, in practicality, I should say, we should be talking about how everybody played their part. The midfield stepped up drastically. Considering on paper, we're up against probably the best midfield on paper in the world. And you would not have thought that on performance-wise. All three lads, fantastic in that midfield, Endo and McAllister especially. And then Kwanzaa, we were all a bit worried going into that game, thinking, would he be able to cope with Ireland? My lord, he had one chance a whole game, and even then, Van Dijk made him look absolutely bang average.
Yeah, no. Let's kind of bring up this comment first of all. I just want to say, Jay, hope you're feeling better, mate. I'm glad you're here. Hope you're feeling better. Get better soon, mate. Coming back to yesterday's game, then, Ricky, I'll ask you. So, I guess it's kind of it's a game of two halves as usual with what we see with Liverpool. Klopp is working his magic, and somehow we turn it around, and really, just like what Clem said, what Dean said, we should have won the game, regardless of refereeing decisions. We should have won the game, and we'll talk about Diaz now and some of the misfiring frontline. We really do miss Jota. Before his injury, Jota was just fantastic. He was keeping us in the game, keeping us in the games, keeping us top of the league while Salah was out. How important is it that we get Jota back, but also Diaz? Is there more that we should be expecting from him?
Yes, of course, we expect a lot from Diaz, but I was telling everyone yesterday, Jota is a key player. He can score more goals, but the main difference, Diaz is like every South American player, attacking player. He's fast, he can drive, but I feel like he is not like the kind of leader. He's not like Jota. We understand he can be a key player, but sometimes I feel like he don't want to feel pressure from the fans, from everyone. And yesterday, he missed a big opportunity to win the game. Not only if we lost the penalty, everyone saw we got robbed, but I feel like Jota, he can do better. I expect from him a lot. Also, if Jota, he can score, we should give the same opportunity to Cody. He knows how to score goals, but Diaz, I think he can be a key player. I feel like we can. He's not Salah, Jota. He can take the team in his shoulders.
Yeah,
that's what I feel.
I totally agree. He did. First of all, let's say thank you to Jen as usual. Thank you for the really kind donation. It really helps, keeps kind of channel growing, and as we develop more ideas and things of that nature, really is thankful. But yeah, I just want to come back to Diaz. He did absolutely everything right, didn't he, Dean? Everything apart from the finishing. There was that run where there was a couple of moments where he made Bernardo Silva fall on his ass. Carl Walker went for a little Sunday roast down at the local pub or something. But he was just brilliant apart from the finishing, and we should expect it. I don't know, sometimes does he try to be too cute with some of his play? Is that what we're missing with Diaz? Is instead of it being a killer finish, it's rather just trying to be cute?
It's a strange one with Diaz. I think he's more of a traditional winger, if that makes sense. That was his role at Porto. He was very much the wide player to get to the byline, take somebody on, cut in, have a shot here and there. He's not clinical by any sense. And to be fair, I don't think Cody Gakpo is either, but Gakpo is more of a striker than a winger, to be fair. I like Diaz. Like I say, they mentioned then 2 runs he made that second half when we went from our own box to winning a corner at the end by himself. It was extraordinary. 2 corners, 2 or 3 players. He made Walker really bang average. He got past him so easily. And like I say, he has 2 or 3 opportunities, and he just lacks that bit of composure, just the places. He is frustrating to watch at times. You're standing there, you're shouting at the tally, or you stand there in the stands and you're screaming. He's the lowest scorer of the front line. You can see why. But then you can see him in other games when we played against Luton. Yes, he did have about 5 or 6 chances. But when the pressure's not on as much, we were 2-1 up, I think then he scores the third, doesn't he, against Luton. He's got the composure then because the pressure's not there. But I think in a high-stakes game when he's on a one-on-one opportunity and we're level or behind, he just flusters. He just flusters his lines a little bit. And that's the frustrating part. He's the one player that's different in the front line to the rest of them. Because the others seem like proper inside forwards or strikers, whereas Diaz doesn't seem to fit that mould, but he brings something different. He's the energetic, he's the pace, he's the trickery. But to be fair, we've only just started to see that again since he's off the field issues, since his injuries. It's not until the last couple of weeks where we started to see that again. So hopefully this is a bit of a turning point for him. He just needs to start sorting out his finishing. And if he can sort that out, I think I remember seeing a journalist from the Telegraph, Chris Bascombe, I think, mentioned it last night. If he could finish like Mane, he's £200 million player easy. It's just his finishing that lets him down. Whether that can be taught, that could be coached in, remains to be seen. But he's been at Liverpool for what, 2 seasons now? He's been here. It's not seen.
He did lose 6 months though, didn't he? He did lose half a season, pretty much.
He did, to be fair, yeah. But I'm not saying selling. I'm not saying he's rubbish. He's far from it. For what he does, his skill set is world class. He just needs to be a bit more composed in the box, because they're going to be the moments that could define the season, could define his career at Liverpool. But if he can add that, like I say, he's a diamond. Just needs to smooth out those edges.
Yeah. And I think, Clem, I'll come to you about this one. Is time running out for Diaz? Because I'm not talking about his Liverpool career, but in terms of his age, he's 27, I think. Playing at the top level, is he losing opportunities to really register himself as being, world class? Because we've seen moments, certainly when in the first 6 months when he came, that half season when he came to Liverpool, when he put on a Colombia shirt, he's a different animal. He's on a different planet when it comes to playing for his home country. Is there something that he's not got at Liverpool where we see it for Colombia?
It's a fair question, I think, and you hit the nail. I was going to say, with Colombia, he knows where the goals are, and to be fair with us, he knows where the goals are as well. It's just, as the lads make great points, in this league, you need to be really clinical, and he's great at setting up play, making those runs and everything. But I feel like he does sit on the ball a little too long after he's made a run, and sometimes he's a bit indecisive as well, and I think that can be adjusted. I think, with the interrupted season this year, and I'm still, really high that he can bounce back and improve in the future next season as well. But he's great in the air. He scored the header with at Luton, which was a big a game. But the last stream I was on as well, talking with Dan, he was also mentioning that game Diaz had a lot of chances that he didn't convert as well. So look, yeah, we really do miss Jota. I'm with you on that. I think our best three are Jota, Nunes, and Salah. But Diaz has been, shouldering a big load. He's been playing a lot of minutes, and that might be actually weighing on him.
Yeah, no, that's really, really good points. Ricky, seeing that you're from South America, aren't you? I think. What's the perception of Luis Diaz on your side of the seas, and how he fares for Liverpool?
Well, Luis Diaz, he's a superstar here in South America, like Darwin Núñez. Obviously, in Colombia, is more important. It's like the same level of Falcao Garcia. But like I feel like he can play in a higher level from when he playing in Colombia. He's not showing the same level here in Liverpool. Yep. I think one of the key points is he think, we have Salah, Jota, they can score goals. I can be fast. I can be a really fast player, so I can assist. I feel like he's a leader in Colombia, but here no. That's the main difference.
Is there something there about the language? Because I still haven't heard him speak English in an interview as yet. I know Darwin hasn't given an interview as yet, as I believe. Do you think there's something there? Just like what you said, Ricky. So he's a leader in Colombia. He can get, he can work with his feet. He can talk the language. He can direct play, etc. But is that what's possibly holding him back here at Liverpool?
Yes, I think like some players from South America or Latinos player is a big barrier to talk another language. Just look, the same problem is for me is I don't start everything in English.
Yeah,
I grew up with English. my uncle is from the unis from America, but for me, it's talking in public, even in Spanish. I don't like talking in Spanish neither. I feel pressure, but I feel like he's a player. He can be a role model like Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, everyone play like Salah. I think you need to stay back. Like, okay, here we need to communicate with my teammates. I feel like he's a barrier if he don't speak English. Even Darwin Nunez is learning English with Curtis Jones. I feel like, and also he has the money to learn English or other language. To be honest,
No. It's an interesting perspective when we have someone from outside of the UK, and it just shows how well Liverpool supported that we've got someone from Ecuador representing Liverpool. I think it's brilliant. I loved having you on the stream tonight. So let's talk about some good things, and let's just bring up a comment that Jen raised. Endo. Dean, I'm going to come to you. How brilliant! It's that double pivot as well now, isn't it? We're talking about Endo and McAllister being the first two spots in that midfield. How good are they?
It's crazy. It's probably the first duo that's made Rodri look like, say, bang average. He got overrun. A 31-year-old Japanese player who played in a relegation battling Bundesliga side has come across the ocean, and it's just made Rodri probably the best holding midfield in the world. It's crazy. Like I said before, on paper, there was a concern. It was going to be a tasty bite, but you're thinking to yourself, this is going to be a real test, and they've absolutely smashed it. He seems to have formed a good partnership with McAllister, which can only benefit us long term as well. Yeah, really out of superlatives, to be fair, for Endo. He's just proved us all wrong, hasn't he? I know he had a bit of a slow start of his Liverpool career, but he's adjusted quite quickly in the grand scheme of things. Under pressure as well, because obviously injuries. And he's becoming one of the first names on the team sheet. It's crazy to think, but what a signing, what a bargain. And like I say, going into that game, there was concerns, but every game we go into now, you're just thinking we've got Endo and McAllister in the field, and you wouldn't swap them for anybody at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's like say, fair play to Jorg, the sporting director at the time. Fair play to Klopp for believing and begging FSG to sign him, and fair play to the lads to actually implement it. What they did, can't really give him any more credit than that.
Yeah, no, agreed. And I think there was a bit of a heated debate in our WhatsApp group, wasn't there, about the stats and data and the use of data. Now, the point that I was trying to make was, you can kind of base opinions based on, you can come up with opinions based on data. After you get the data, you can then, scout the player and then, make a final judgment. But I guess that Endo's that perfect example of statistical data, because we've got, years and years of that data, him playing in different positions, the ground that he covers, the positions that he takes up, the tackling. He's that perfect example of stats, finding a rough diamond, and we've kind of molded him. Okay, granted, he's 29, 30, but he's just that perfect example of if we trust the process, things will come good. And Ricky, you've just said the same thing about Cody. If we give Cody the time again, he'll come good. And we've done it before. It's just finding the right rhythm for the players, because once they hit it, they're going to be brilliant. But Clem, I'll come to you really quickly. Any thoughts about Endo, McAllister, and who would be your third choice when we have everybody available again?
Oh, that's a toughest question.
Yeah, Soboslai. Yeah. I know he came back yesterday and he looked rusty. If we give him some games, he's probably the third midfielder, surely.
Yeah, just a quick word on Endo as well. I'll talk about it, a bit about his experience. I think, people make that great point that we wish Endo was a couple years younger and maybe he'd have a longer Liverpool career, but we might not be getting the same Endo. The Endo we're getting now is a 31-year-old that's captain his country in a World Cup. He's captain, as you said, his relegation or former relegation side, and we needed a little bit more experience coming in. We've got a very youthful squad at the moment. So what I'm seeing is a lot of leadership there on the pitch. And I think we've said this before, but there's multiple guys that could be captains. If Verge is out, there's options as well. And he really seems like a true professional. He's so focused out there. You can see that he does his background on the opponents as well. He knows where to be, taking up space. So yeah, like Dean, I'm sort of out of superlatives outside of that. I think Endo's just been brilliant. He signed a 4-year deal. So if he ages well, he could be a great squad player in the years to come and plug a lot of gaps. But yeah, with him and McAllister, I think I was really impressed with Curtis Jones's run before he went down. And I think it's a really handy sort of position to be in next season. I really think there's 3 midfield lineups now where, you could have your Bietic, Bobby Clark, and McConnell. And your second lineup could be a Gravenberch, Jones, Elliott. And then your first lineup could be your Endo, Zaboslai, McAllister as well. So I'll ask you guys, lads, have you seen a Liverpool that has 3 midfields that they could field?
No. I personally, I think I've said it before on stream as well. I think this is the best squad that we've ever had under Klopp, certainly since it could be the best squad that we've had. Every position's pretty much covered. The only factor is injuries. The injuries have just hindered us so much this season. Yet we're still we're second in the league, just on goal difference. It's just that. Dean, what do you think?
Yeah, I fully agree. And to be fair, when you mentioned this injury situation, if we hadn't had that injury situation, it's going to sound a bit daft, but we wouldn't have seen these young lads progress in such a short time. At the start of the season, Kwanzaa, McConnell, Clark, Dans, and Bradley as well. You were sat there going, right, they're going to be playing so many games this season. You would have been going, oh dear, we're going to suffer this season. But they're flying. Obviously, the finance guys upstairs, they're laughing as well. So, Luke, the squad barely needs anything. And the new manager, whoever comes in next season, will go, I've got a class squad, a class academy to work with. Everybody steps up who comes in. You can't have asked for any more. Genuinely, I can't think of another squad we've had so much depth where, like I say, especially from academy point of view, everybody is slotted in as performed like a first team player, which you can't buy that. It takes years. It takes great management direction from the academy director to the first team manager, and they're all in sync. And we're getting the fruit from it now. It's just a shame it's at the end of Klopp's reign, but it means somebody else has got the tools coming in next season.
Yeah. And we're left healthy, aren't we? So it's interesting. We'll see how the next few weeks go. I've said let's. After the Arsenal Man City game, whoever leads, they're probably going to be favourites to win the league. That's when it's the title running, isn't it? So we'll see how we get on. We're gonna finish off. I didn't want to talk about the penalty, but if anyone does want to talk about the penalty, shout. Ricky, do you want to talk about it? Because the game's gone. We're just going to get more waffle from the referee association. They made the wrong call, but Ricky, let's kind of hear what you think.
Well, it was a penalty, obviously, but we can think in the past. We need to move on. That's the reality. There's a lot of mistakes, not only in England. Here in South America, referees make a lot of mistakes, even with the VAR. So I think it's a big issue, not around the world. So I don't want to talk about penalty, to be honest.
No, I agree. Okay, let's finish up on that then. We're going to come to one of our other topics. It's something that Dino asked to kind of talk about, but also Jay, you've just mentioned it in the comments, and I did see it, so I do want to bring it up. So in terms of the latest, there's lots of talk. Fabrizio Romano's talked about the incomings of Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes coming in as a bit of a double pivot, you could say. Back into Liverpool, Billy Hogan's moved into a different position, so he's not looking after the footballing side. So it looks like the door's opening for Michael Edwards to come back, but at a more senior level. It looks like possibly like a CEO, but more on the footballing side. And then he's bringing in a very close associate, someone he's dealt with on a number of years, a number of occasions with the deals that we've seen with Bournemouth. Richard Hughes, who does seem to have like a bit of a good track record, regardless of the position at Bournemouth in. He's bought well, he's sold well, isn't he? So Dean, let's kick off with you first. What are your thoughts about the hopefully two incomings in terms of non-sporting positions?
I don't think you could really have asked for any more. To have Michael Edwards back, to have that part, another part of that old era where we won the league a few years ago, to have that part back, because he was there once. He's, as much as Klopp has been the mainstay of the reason why we won the league, Edwards was such a massive part in the negotiations, signings, and the money we made from the players that didn't work out. To have that come back in, and then to have fresh ideas under Richard Hughes as well, somebody that Edwards has known for, I think, 20 years, apparently they've known each other. So they know each other inside out. That's going to be a great partnership if that comes to fruition. I think Edwards is, apparently the line is going to be the head of analytics and still oversee the footballing operations side of Liverpool. So basically he's going to run the footballing operations. And then obviously he will be overseen with Richard Hughes as the sporting director as well, which is, I don't think we could have asked for much more. Like I say, there was other candidates, but Edwards knows the club. He knows the model. Like I say, it's perfect for Liverpool. Obviously, the structure's going to all change now because Klopp's obviously got the most power, and he's deserved that power. In fairness, he's gained more and more as time has gone on because he's earned it. Now it's going to revert back to what it was, probably what FSG like. I know that might scare some people, but this is what happened when Klopp first come in. Edwards had more power, and then it leveled out. Then they worked together. They cohabited, and now obviously Edwards left, and then it went to, like I say, to all Klopp. So we're reverting back for whoever comes in because it's going to be a young manager, and then it'll all go to not the transfer committee we used to have. It's not quite the same. It's still going to be, like I say, sporting director. But it's exciting. I never thought we were so excited about having a sporting director come in. It's a crazy modern football's changed the way things are. But yeah, like I say, to have Edwards coming back, it gives you some hope. It makes you feel like it's going to be okay. Just it softens that blow, doesn't it? There's a concern going into next season, regardless of how well we do this season. The squad's in great shape, of course, but there's always that uncertainty, that blow of losing. Obviously, our best ever, probably our best Premier League manager, easily. The best thing to do is to soften the blow as much as possible, and this is a great way to start that.
Yeah, no, you did absolutely fantastic points there, Dino. I totally agree. Clem, you got any thoughts on that? I think it's because Michael Edwards has got so much skin in the game. He's probably the best at his profession, certainly in England. So for us to coax him back, if everything obviously goes the way that we want, how much of a coup is that for Liverpool to get him back in Liverpool's doors?
Oh, it's massive. Dean did a great job summarizing how I feel as well. But to get someone who's not only really wanting to come back, I mean, obviously there's going to be a large amount of money involved, but for someone who's already successful right now to want to return back to this club, and we've never been in a better position on and off the pitch right now as well. So he's coming back, and yes, it's bittersweet that we're swapping places with Klopp, but basically Edwards has been the best at what he does, and he's going to be overseeing everything, and he's going to be bringing in someone who's familiar with as well. He's very data driven as well. So the chat's asking how it might impact Xabi Alonso. I think it won't impact it too much. I think that's still very likely. I think Xabi Alonso is the number one target. Where it might impact things is players on the pitch as well, personnel, and obviously every guy is going to have the profile of players that they like as well. So it's exciting times, really. This is how most big clubs should operate, I feel. And the Klopp model, it just wasn't sustainable. As good as it's been working, the man, has been doing the best he can, and he's tired as well. And that was never going to last forever as well. So I look at this as like an exciting new chapter. And hopefully, it goes even better than this current situation as well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And Ricky, I'll get your thoughts as well about the importance of a sporting director. How important is it that Richard Hughes comes in? We have that, and he's bought into the idea of Michael Edwards. The idea of what Michael Edwards sees for Liverpool, which is what FSG want. So it means that everyone's on the same page. They know exactly where their role is, what they want to achieve. How important is it that someone like Richard Hughes comes in?
Well, I think it's going to be challenging, to be honest, because we don't have the same amount of money like City, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain. It's going to be a big challenge. For Richard, is a biggest step. Bournemouth, Liverpool, of course, is going to be a biggest challenge. And also, I feel like Edwards is going to be like the boss. He's going to give the feedback. We need this kind of player. Like he's going to make the call what players we need, and Richard is going to but what happened if this model is not good enough, because Klopp is tired of this, try to compete with less budget every year, because let's be honest, our owners don't like to spend big money. They're rebuilding the Liverpool, Anfield, because it means you can win money, profit. But I think it's going to be challenging. We need to focus to know who is going to be the next manager. Everyone wants Alonso because he's making a big impact in Leverkusen. I feel that. But what happened if Alonso don't want to join us? Who is going to be the second option? People are saying Ruben Amorim, but I feel like I have an issue with Portugal managers. The same problem is in Brazil. They only manage in their league. I feel like there's no managers besides Mourinho. Okay, but what could happen if he's not Amorim? We see him and he don't work.
Yeah,
we need to know the right profile, like Klopp.
Yeah, no. I think I trust the club. Now, yeah, you made some really, really interesting points. I think the way that Richard Hughes has obviously come from Bournemouth, and he knows that. So he's already kind of used to working on that type of budget. He'll obviously have a little bit more to try to work and secure players, better caliber of players than what he'd be used to at Bournemouth. But then if he has Michael Edwards, supporting him in the background, the best analytics in the country, to call out players like Endo. If we find more Endos, if we find more Soboslais for the money that we spent, other players that come in, who knows? We should be able to compete with Man City, right, Ricky? And regardless of what happens with their court case and their judgment on the 115 charges, we'll still be there. It's just we need to have the structure, don't we? So it's going to be really, really important. I guess Dino, I'll come to you. What's the impact of Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes coming in to Liverpool as a whole? Could it go wrong because they're so close as friends and associates?
Well, of course, there's no guarantee anything goes right in football. It's just that's the way the sport is, the industry is. But this is about getting the best possible platform for us to basically be set. Obviously, it's not a rebuild. It's far from it, but it is a reset behind the scenes, isn't it? It's going to be a drastic change, and you want that to go as smooth as possible, and to have somebody, two important people, behind the scenes to know each other so well and get on so well. That will help massively. And also, a lot of these players know Michael Edwards, Van Dijk, Salah, obviously, basically most of the squad, bar the new ones from this season, all them other lads have been brought in by Michael Edwards, and there was a Julian Ward as well, a couple of them.
Yeah.
So they know them very well. So when at the end of the season, when the questions come from the players, so like Van Dijk and Trent, Salah, the main three with contract situations, they're going to ask, right, what are we doing? But to have Edwards come back, and they know that Edwards wasn't just willingly come back, he had to be convinced. I know some people will take that as a pinch of salt, but to have someone like that to come back must give you some motivation that there's a reason to come back. And there must be some optimism, some motivation to come back. And they know the work he can do, the work he has done in the past. So that gives us the best possible chance of keeping the current players. And just to quickly drop on what we're on about competing with City, Liverpool don't buy stars, we make them.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Salah, Diaz, and all that were quite good at the clubs they were at, but we took them to a new level, haven't we? Van Dijk, we're taking him to a new level. Alisson, they were good already, but we've made them world class. That's what we do. So, and you've got the best person to find them rising stars and to get them for a good deal. And then, of course, another part to add into that, we've got a lot of players out on loan, like your Carvalhos, your Mortons, your Vandenberg. They're going to come back, whether they get loaned out again or not. But if they're going to get sold, you've got the best person to negotiate that sale. So that's going to be key as well to give us a bigger budget. I know some people don't like it, but unfortunately, it's how we run as the model of the club. It's an honest model. Yes, okay, it's not always the quickest route to success, but at the end of the day, we follow the rules. We do it the right way. I know it doesn't appeal to everybody, but it's sustainable. We're financially sound, and Liverpool have grown over the last 10 years drastically on and off the pitch. So we can't complain overall. Yes, Klopp has been a massive factor in that. But now we're bringing these two guys in to try and smooth that transition and give the new manager the best possible platform. He's got the squad. Now he just needs the structure, whoever comes in to back him. And this is the perfect way to start it. If we can get him over the line, by the looks of it, it is going to happen. Just waiting for the announcement, basically.
Okay, so I'm going to play devil's advocate to you, Clem. So you're Michael Edwards. Virgil van Dijk comes to your office, knocks on the door, says, I want a new contract. Considering his age, do you go ahead and give him a new contract? Do you cash in? Same with Salah. All the kind of big stars that are over 30. And Ricky, start thinking about it. Dino, start thinking about it, because I'm going to come to you as well. What do you do? Do you give the new manager the funds to be able to rebuild a more younger side, or do you say, actually, we still need Virgil, still need Salah, and we'll play more of a buy on a shoestring, should I say? What would you do?
Man, perfect question, because I was actually going to add, there are firm reports that Edwards' thinking, his mindset coming in is someone who is forward thinking in terms of the next, winning squad. He's looking beyond, the current squad, and he's likely to question, or he had questioned Klopp'S, opinions on some certain players over 30. So I'll give a response in terms of two ways. I think, me personally, I see the value in a Virgil van Dijk, Salah on the pitch still. Their play hasn't dipped a whole lot, and they're still world class. So I give them an extension. But having just said what I just said, not knowing Michael Edwards, I could see a world where he comes in and really gives it a hard thought. Every new manager, a new person comes in, wants to bring their ideas, don't they? Their ego sort of gets boosted a bit. Hey, FSG, headhunted me or came back to me and gave me this role. They obviously value my opinion, and they trust me to get Liverpool, or to make sure Liverpool continue to grow on and off the pitch. So yeah, I could see Edwards really thinking about it, but I could also see him leaning towards giving them another deal, just because he knows what they can produce. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Ricky, I'm going to ask you a question on this one. If you are Xabi Alonso, let's say, and Michael Edwards has already spoken to you and asks you, do you want to keep Virgil van Dijk or Salah? Do you as a new manager want to have your own ideas, get younger blood in? Do you want to do that? Is there a danger that Michael Edwards comes in, but the manager thinks differently?
Well, I was thinking, Van Dijk is a key player. Let's be honest. Thanks to him, we beat Chelsea. He always scores. I think I would like to keep Van Dijk, but I need to think about Matip. I want to talk about him too, because he's injury prone. He always is injured. I will let him go. With Salah is fantastic, but if we need budget, let's be honest. I love Salah. He's the king, but I think probably I will sell Salah for a big amount of money to Saudi Arabia. I would like to bring new key players. I feel like I would like to bring two players, two defenders. I was thinking there's one player from Portugal, I think Ignacio, Goncalo Ignacio. He's strong. He also, when he plays for Portugal, he scores goals like Van Dijk. I think it's important to have a player who can score goals. For me, just look Xabi Alonso, Leverkusen. Everyone scores goals. I think we need to do the same thing here. I would like to bring Goncalo Ignacio and keep Van Dijk, because Konate, I feel like he's having the same issues with injury issues. Let's be honest. Yeah. Kwanzaa, he's amazing. I would like to keep him. To keep also Joe Gomez. We need to talk about him. What if one day he said, "I'm getting tired. Why I'm the last option here? I deserve to play regular." I think I would like to bring Salah, like I said. I will sell Salah. I bring new players like Chesa or Rodrigo from Real Madrid, because Real Madrid is going to sing Mbappe. I feel like Rodrigo is going to lose his place. He can be a good player for us, but let's be honest, we need the money. If with some money, we can make more miracles.
No, it's really good points. I think there's definitely a conversation about Mo. Trent's going to be the key one. Well, I think we need to kind of get him a new contract. But Dino, what are your thoughts? If you were sporting director or CEO, are you cashing in now to build that budget to really go and kind of rebuild Liverpool into a new version that will play to Xabi's strengths, his formation that he wants to play? What do you do?
I think there's a few points we have to consider. We don't need a rebuild with a new manager coming in. The squad is no squad's perfect, but the squad is as close to perfection as we can get at the moment. Yeah. So I don't think a lot of money needs to be spent on the squad. Maybe a centre back and maybe another attacking reinforcement, but I think that's your lot in my eyes as it stands. I think you're going to lose a couple of big earners for free anyway. I think Matty will end up moving on once he's injured. I think we'll do our usually ever do. Thiago as well. He's talking 300k off the wage bill straight away. So there's your money for your new contract. Another thing you've got to consider: losing Klopp will be a big thing in regards to attracting footballers. I know we shouldn't have to convince them to play for Liverpool, but unfortunately, part of the industry is to convince them in a project. And to lose your best manager, obviously not for sporty reasons, it's for his own reasons, it's going to be a blow. So as a sporting director, you're sitting there saying, right, what's a draw? Other than Champions League and other than wages, what's a draw to play at Liverpool? It's to play with world-class footballers, and 3 of them with contracts, not issues, but negotiations to start. 3 or more world-class, and that's Trent, Van Dijk and Salah. So lose them, as well as losing your manager, in the same summer would be... it'd be the most brutal of blows. So I can't see us letting any of them go. That's obviously Trent. I can't see us ever letting go as long as we stay competitive. But Van Dijk and Salah's numbers are still very, very good, despite their age. That is the key thing for a sporting director. It's all about data, as we've mentioned. Van Dijk's numbers have gone back to his peak. Salah is still, well, he's 1 goal off scoring 20 is the 7th consecutive season, which is unreal.
Yeah.
And then obviously Trent's only 25. So they're the cornerstones of your squad. You've got to keep them. Yes, okay, we all want to have new signings. We all want to have fresh blood coming in. But if you're going to sell Van Dijk on, are you going to find someone out there just as good as him for the next 2 years? Unlikely. No one springs to mind. Yes, they could be in 5 years' time. There's potential out there. But nobody's world-class like him now. He's probably got another 3 or 4 years at the top left in him, especially as a centre-back. And then Salah, he's just a phenomenal player. He's an absolute... I don't know what the word is. He's unique, isn't he? There's no one else there like him. Obviously, Saudis are concerned. They could come in and offer an obscene amount of money. They probably still will do that. So that is a conversation to have if and when that does come in. But other than that, on the face of it, you keep your best players to then attract the next generation, the next line of the best players, the rising stars. Because you don't want to throw in a 20-year-old kid or up-and-comer to replace Salah. That is a burden and a half for any footballer. And same with Van Dijk and same for Trent. So for me, if I was in charge, you keep them, use the wages you're going to gain back from losing them to big earners, put them into that contracts, could they've earned them up to now. And then we'll find money. We've got money. The club's in a great position financially. We've got the Anfield Road, new revenue coming in. We'll be back in the Champions League. We've got money there. We'll spend it wisely. And of course, we've got the loanees to assess and do we sell them on? As I mentioned before, best negotiator coming back. We'll have money to spend on players. And luckily, we only need 1 or 2 just to freshen things up a bit more.
Yeah. So just want to bring up this comment. That's what I'm here for, Jay. I like to ask those difficult questions. So I think just a quick point, and then we'll move on to our last topic for tonight. So in terms of Salah and Virgil, I don't think we'd actually increase their salary. It's more giving them the years on contract, so they would stay longer at that level. If not, maybe a little bit higher, but I can't see it going to another 100 grand, whatnot. It probably would be staying in that level that they're at now. It's just prolonging their years at Liverpool. When it comes to Trent, he would be expecting to have that big top earner. That's gonna be a difficult question, but we'll see. It's a test for whoever that new sporting director is. But the framework's there. Totally agree. Great points, everyone. Okay, so we're going to come to the last topic for today. Bit of a left field topic itself, and I really would love to have some thoughts from the comments today as well. What we're going to talk about is Jurgen Klopp. We know that he's leaving. It's not the situation that we would love, that we would like, but Dean, you kind of raised that topic for discussion today. I think it's a really good one. Is this season kind of with everything that's happening around Klopp and the running itself, is this the most emotional season under Klopp? Have there been other moments in other seasons that have made this more emotional? When I say that is, every game feels kind of there's like a symbolism within the game. We know we're coming down to the last few games of Klopp's career at Liverpool. The home games, the atmosphere has just gone up a notch. It seems like it's really, really ramping up. But Dean, I'll come to you first, obviously. But what are your thoughts? You're the one who raised it. What do you think? So we can kind of talk about it with our guests.
Like I say, I'll go to the comments, and like I say, the other 2 guys. But every game this season, there's been something attached to it. Obviously, the Jurgen thing has amplified it drastically. Emotion. Jurgen's football is emotion. It's intensity. It's all about the atmosphere, the belief on the pitch, the belief in the stands. It unites the club. So this season, I'll give an example. Spurs, horrible. I know it's not, we don't want to think about it because of obvious reasons, but I've never come out of a game conceding a last-minute goal, an own goal at that, and be more proud of the team, because the emotion at that game, when we went down to 9 men, you saw the team after the game. It looked like they won because they were pouring out with emotion. They were screaming to the Liverpool fans, like, come on, we can do this. We can keep pushing. And that was even before Klopp's announcement. And then we've had this whole new thing with the injuries. We've had the kids playing. The kids won as, yes, Van Dijk scored as the goal, but the kids won as a final. Klopp's last League Cup run. I just think I like to build. Football's about stories for me personally, and I think this season loads of little stories have been added into the overall season. With obviously, like I say, with Klopp leaving, I just wondered at what everyone else thought. Like, what is there any other season you think has been more of a roller coaster, more it's tugged on the heartstrings, or it's stressed you out, or if it's made you cry with joy? Like, I'll just give some quick examples. The Dortmund one from his first season, when we learned to start loving football again, believing in the team again, united as fans, because we were divided for years, and we were united again after that season. And then, of course, you've got the COVID year where we weren't even there. But the squad went through so much. Obviously, Klopp lost his mum, Alisson lost his dad. We had two kids playing centre-back, but we got third place. Even though the fans weren't there, Alisson scoring that last-minute winner at West Brom, we grew attached to the club. I've just thought, with Jurgen obviously leaving, what's been the biggest things that's brought you close to the club, or like I say, it's ripped you apart because you've been so attached, if that makes sense? I just wonder what everyone else was thinking. But definitely this season for me has been the most, up to now, if we pause it here, it's been the most intense but enjoyable. But I say every game has felt like a story in a different way.
Mm-hmm. So I've got some few ideas, but I'm going to let Clem and Ricky talk first, and then I'll give you my emotional state of kind of the last 7-8 years with Klopp. Who wants to go first? Ricky, Clem? Ricky, let's go with you.
Okay. Well, Klopp leaving is a big impact. We're going to lose something special. He's charismatic. He is like even the media saying he could be a political, and you can trust him.
Yeah.
Care about the people. But I think when I hear the news, I almost cried. Let's be honest. I think it's going to be really sad because everything he has built in here. Every time he is with FSG, with John and Linda, he needs to deal with those Americans. I don't know how to say. He needs to deal, and he understands, like, oh, I don't have enough budget, but I think he's doing miracles here in Liverpool. Let's be honest. Just look in the past, what managers we have: Roy Hodgson, Kenny Dalglish. Let's be honest, there are not top managers. Brendan Rodgers, of course, but I feel like it's going to be sad losing him because he's a nice person, and also he is not the kind of manager like Mourinho. He always fight. No, he listens to he can listen to critics every time people is going to criticize. But I think I don't want to lose him. Like, he's important part of the Liverpool heart in England too. Even I'm pretty sure our neighbors Everton are going to miss him.
Yeah, no. I think so. Jay mentioned, didn't he, about, there was a lot of emotion from the City players coming up to Klopp, and Ivan Toney, that embrace that he gave to Klopp the other week. Maybe there was something there around, I wish he just chose me. I wish he kind of picked me. It's like a romantic comedy, isn't it? But it's, there's Clem. I'll come to you now about what were the emotional kind of moments for you Do you think this is going to be the most emotional it will be? Certainly the last 2-3 games of the season will be really emotional. And Everton, we're going to be playing them second but last in the league, in the fixtures. That's going to be really, really emotional. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, the whole thing is just going to continue with the documentary, and
Yeah.
Linda liked apparently a post that a fan was asking to build a statue for Klopp, but the way I'm going to try my best to summarize how I feel as well. I think Klopp's a guy who the reason he's so beloved is he loves us and the club as much as fans love him, and it's very rare to see a manager that invested. You hear the quotes of former managers like Mourinho and other managers make about their former clubs. We just know we're not going to get that from Klopp, and another quote he made was, I wouldn't leave you guys in the position that you were last season. If he was thinking of leaving then, apparently, and I believe him. And he even said very recently, I wouldn't be leaving this season if we weren't in the position that we're in now to succeed. And what makes it so emotional for me now is you see these new players. It's kind of like the baby Reds who are just ready to grow up, and Klopp's just leaving them now. And guys I'll look to is Nunes, who's so emotional and so invested in the club, and to see him just grow up now, and Klopp just leave at this point, and McAllister, who's embracing being a Liverpool player and loves. You could see the love of the club that he's starting to develop now. It's kind of like your son or daughter turning 18 and moving abroad, and that feeling of like the players are really just growing up still, and he's leaving, and then the story just continues to grow with the academy players that he's developed and helped develop and given an opportunity to, and you see that they don't know what to think, because it's like we're finally getting our chance, and Klopp's leaving as well. So, I mean, he's poured everything he has into this club as well. So I would like to think that it's going to continue to get emotional, but it's going to be a celebration, for me, because I've been a manager in a job before, and I know when I took on that job, I knew I wouldn't be doing that forever. You know that day is going to come when you're going to leave, and you might dread it if you really love your job, but it's just one of those things where no one's going to do that role forever. And I think he's done the best possible thing, which is leave us in this position.
Yeah, totally agree. So there's a quote, I think maybe Dean, that you put in our WhatsApp group. Don't be sad it's ending, be glad it happened. And I think that's really, really poignant with Klopp. Just the whole story is just going to be magnificent. And I think the moments that come to mind, there's 3 kind of key moments that stick out. One is after we won the Champions League, when he went to Jordan Henderson, and they kind of embraced each other, both crying, and how they embraced each other like father son, brotherly kind of embrace. You don't see that with other clubs. You don't see that in pretty much most kind of most ways of life and society. I think that was an amazing point. The second one was mentioned earlier about Allison having just lost his dad. Played. We went away to West Brom. He scored that winner, and after the full-time whistle, same thing. Who did he go to? Where did he get the biggest kind of embrace? And that was Jurgen Klopp. Head in his. Allison's head was in Klopp's chest, and you could tell they were just. He was telling him everything will be okay. That's for your dad. That just shows what type of a man he is. And then the last one doesn't actually involve Klopp per se, but it's the interview that Adam Lallana gave after he left. And he spoke about the club. He spoke about Jordan Henderson, and he essentially he broke down during that interview. And it's one of the most heartfelt kind of interviews I've ever seen. I will be really, really honest. And I think it goes under the radar how much a player like Lallana, who kind of epitomized Jurgen Klopp and his style of play at the start of Jurgen's career at Liverpool. The only issue was Adam's injuries, and I think it's just amazing. But that kind of just summarizes how good the family is. And now we're going to be losing our favorite uncle, basically. You know, our favorite uncle is just like what Clem said. You know, favorite family member is going to be leaving the family. It's not a goodbye. It's just, you know, we'll see you at another point in life. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. I don't know if anyone has any points before we start getting really emotional tonight. We'll probably close it up there. But
just quickly,
yeah, go for it, Clem.
Knowing that we know now, are you guys glad that we are doing a documentary? And what would you be thinking if we weren't doing it? Like, I know there was a lot of skepticism around it.
Go for it, Dean.
I think you're going to agree to it because it didn't intervene too much into the private parts of the club, as in the meetings, the dressing room. That's their own sanctuary. That's where they have their safe space. But he's agreed to it because he knows the club, the fans are attached. The Liverpool fans care so much about their club, and to technically be part of his last bits of time at the club, it's going to be special for both him and he knows that the fans will appreciate that. As much as I don't want to watch that documentary because I know he'll be gone then, and I know I'll be on my knees watching that, especially at the end of the documentary. It's going to be to be living those final weeks through a TV screen. It's going to be bittersweet, but it just epitomizes how unique this club can be and how unique it actually is. So I think I'm okay with it. I know there's the rumors about him. Oh, he's quit because of that. It's like, no, he agreed to that because it's around his guidelines, his rules.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a special thing, and I can only commend the club and Jurgen for agreeing to it.
Yeah. And for me, it's going to be different to the All or Nothing documentary. I think it's not that fly on the wall kind of scenario. It's more of a documentary, a story of what it all meant, and then this is the culmination. Very much like I've forgotten the name of it, but it's the Chicago Bulls story. I think maybe something like that.
Dance.
Yeah, that's it. The Last Dance, and who knows if it is like that, then it'd be great. Ricky, what are your thoughts before we close up?
Well, to be honest, I would like to be there in Anfield. It's always my dream to be in England, in Liverpool. I think I'm going to cry. To be honest, I don't want to miss Klopp, and I don't know. I'm not prepared, to be honest. I think it's really hard. This news where Klopp decide I'm running out of energy. Of course, I understand if I'm not prepared, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think the documentary will highlight the absolute brilliance of what Klopp has meant to us. And yes, kind of to come back to the original question, it is going to be emotional. It probably is going to be the most emotional season, regardless of whether we win more trophies. I hope we do, because Jurgen does deserve it. I think we've put ourselves in a really good opportunity, a good chance to win more titles. So let's see how we get on. But there's still, a few more games to get through before we start thinking about the last kind of few games anyway. But let's end on that. I just want to say thank you for brilliant show. Ricky, Dean, Clem, absolute pleasure having you guys on my Monday night slot. I really look forward to having you guys come back on a Monday. I just want to say thank you to everyone in the comments. It's been really passionate. Really got lots of good comments. Jay, hopefully you feel better soon after the surgery. We'll see you soon. Just a kind of bit of housekeeping. We've got more streams, 7:30 UK time every day. We've got post-match reactions. We've got a second stream on the Tuesday nights, so 2:30 American time. 2:30 UK time, around about 7 p.m. American time. I'm not too sure which kind of end of America it is, but yeah, just have a look at that. Yeah, we'll see you soon. It's been emotional, gentlemen. Just want to say thank you again. We'll speak soon. Have a good evening all, and yeah, up the Reds. Good night.